Hey y'all, what's up? I'm here for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 9, episode 14. We're on the last day of the glamping trip. Everybody's packing up. Candy, she decides that she's going to catch a flight back to Atlanta because she doesn't want to be around the other girls at this point. She's still pissed off about the lesbian accusations that, took about from the dinner the night before. And she lets she lets Cynthia know that she's going to catch a flight back to Atlanta. So everyone else, they get on the bus and everything. And, Sheree asks, Phaedra what she think about what happened last night. Mind you, Portia is not on the bus at this point when they're having this conversation. Everyone else is. So, Sheree wants, Phaedra to admit what she said about Candy and all this other stuff because she was the main one, throwing accusations about Candy and all this other stuff. And Phaedra was like, it just came out of nowhere. Like, I didn't expect it to happen and all this other bullshit or whatever. So, Phaedra, she's like, Portia was like, who said that? Like, what? And all this other stuff. I said, see, Portia? You see? Your friend leaving you out there to dry, hanging you out there to dry and all this other shit. But that's your friend, though. But anyways, she was talking about how Portia was like that, Phaedra was there and all this other stuff. And Phaedra was like, child, I don't recall and everything, this, that, and the third. And Sheree is like, bitch, what? You don't recall being there or whatever? And she's like, if that was my best friend or whatever and I was going, and I was getting attacked or whatever, she would have my back for sure and everything. I said, yeah, it goes to show you. Phaedra is not Portia's friend like that for real. But anyways, so Kenya, she asked Portia, how did you feel after, getting your head almost ripped off, the night before and everything. And Portia is like, well, I knew that I had said the word closet and everything to Sheree before, but we was already too far into it, so I just want Sheree to say, please let me know who said the child and all this other stuff. And Cynthia, she feels like Portia is full of shit. Just like how I feel, because I feel like, Portia, you knew what the fuck you said. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, like I said, Cynthia feels like that Portia is lying and everything and this, that, and the third. And Cynthia, she tells the girls that Candy left or whatever. She ain't had time for the bullshit. And Portia's like, well, like I said, we all shade each other and everything, and I own it to what I said and everything. And Kenya is like, yeah, after an hour. So anyways, moving on from that, we get Cynthia, she's back at home and everything. And, Cynthia, she's telling Noelle and her assistant about Marlo asking Candy if she was a lesbian and everything. And Noelle, she starts to crack up or whatever, this, that, and the third. I mean, Noelle's old enough, to talk about this kind of stuff with her mom. So I didn't, think it was a big deal. So anyways, the assistant, she's like, well, what's the definition of a lesbian and everything? And Cynthia was like, well, if we're gonna go by that conversation, I guess I'm a lesbian and everything. And they looking at her like, girl, what? And she's like, even if it was only a one-time thing, like if you kissed a girl or whatever, and she kissed you in places and everything, and Noelle's like, okay, what are you trying to say, mom, or whatever. And Cynthia's like, I spent the night at Candy's house or whatever, and had I known, we could have slept together. That entire conversation had me rolling. I said, Cynthia is a mess. And she had to tell Noelle, girl, I'm just playing or whatever, because Noelle looked like she was about to have a heart attack over there looking at her mama say that shit. So anyways, moving on from that, we get Candy. She meets up with her crew or whatever at the candy coated factory and everything. And Candy, she talks about the dinner as well and everything, and how Marlo asked her, was she a lesbian? And they all like, what? And all this other stuff. So she's like, Phaedra, they asked what Phaedra had said and everything. She was like, Phaedra wasn't saying shit or whatever. And they was like, how Portia was like, who said it? And, whoever said it needs to say something and everything. And then she was like, and the next thing Sheree said Portia's name. And they all like, what? And all this other stuff. And, Candy is like that. Everybody knows that Portia hooks up with girls and that, you know, from time to time and everything. And Candy, you know, she's like, once again, that, you know, no. She says that she's had her own experience with Portia or whatever. And Todd was like, yeah, I think I was there and everything. And so Portia is like that, you know, I mean, not Portia. Candy is like that Portia was, you know, in front of her because they were at like a club or something. So Portia was in front of her, Todd was behind her, and then Portia starts to kiss her and everything. And they was like, was it tongue or whatever? And she was like, yeah, it was tongue and everything. And they like, ooh. And then she was like that, you know, Portia told her that she wanted to eat, you know, her puss until she, you know, comes and all this other stuff. I was like, what? And everything, this, that, and the third. And, you know, Candy is like that. She's, you know, she ain't said shit for 2 years and everything, this, that, and the third. And now, you know, Portia want to come with all this bullshit. And so, you know, Portia has been, you know, blowing up Candy's phone and everything to meet up or whatever. I said, yeah, because she probably know Candy got some shit on her and she don't want that shit to come out. But anyway, so, we get Kenya and Cynthia. They, you know, Kenya wants to treat Cynthia, you know, to something because Cynthia's about to turn 50 and, you know, now she just, you know, got her divorce finalized and everything. So, you know, Cynthia doesn't know what it is at first and everything. And Cynthia, she also comes with, you know, her sister Mal or whatever. And comes to find out, Kenya is throwing a puss party for her. And Cynthia's like, what? You know what I'm saying? So pretty much she, you know, wants Cynthia to get, you know, her puss, you know, snatched and rejuvenated or whatever and everything. And, you know, Cynthia's like, hold on now, my shit is already snatched and everything. And Kenya is telling her the other benefits of getting, you know, her vagina rejuvenated and everything. And so, you know, Cynthia is asking questions or whatever, this, that, and the third. And, you know, they're telling her, like, the doctor's telling her that, you know, you might be leaking, you know, you might be extra juicy for the next few days or whatever. And, you know, Cynthia like, hold on now, I ain't trying to be leaking and everything. So she's asking other questions about, you know, the different, you know, tools that they have and everything. And, you know, that was that with, you know, their scene. So we get Phaedra, you know, pretty much her lawyer friend that has been working with, you know, her divorce situation, tells her that the divorce is finalized or whatever. But I had just read something or whatever that apparently the divorce is not finalized. What the fuck I was saying earlier on this season, you know what I'm saying? Well, I guess the judge wants to, I guess some other judge wants to throw out the divorce or whatever because apparently it wasn't done properly or something, and Phaedra served Apollo, you know, she served him the papers too late or something like that, a whole bunch of shit. So yeah, I still don't know about that situation, but whatever. So anyways, she says that she wants her and Apollo to remain good friends and, you know, to be able to raise their kids and everything. And, you know, Apollo hasn't been notified because it's not the judge's or the court's responsibility, I guess, to notify him. So, you know, Phaedra says that she'll tell him. So moving on from that, we get Candy. You know, she's with Riley and everything. And, you know, Riley is supposed to be recording in the studio or whatever her new song. I forget the name of the song, but I heard a snippet of it the other day or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this is Riley's thing. I don't know. Maybe, you know, I guess maybe because it's her. Well, no, this is not her first song, right? Because didn't she do a song with Tiny's daughter a long time ago? I can't remember. No, that wasn't her. That was Regine. My bad. That was Toya's daughter. My bad. So yeah, I think this is Riley's first song or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe she'll get better over time. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I never really cared for Candy's voice in Escape growing up. I never really cared for her voice, you know. And that's not to take nothing away from Candy. It's just that, yeah, you know, I didn't really care for her voice. So anyways, you know, Candy pretty much, she took everything that Riley told her, you know, because the song is about her dad. So she took everything that Riley told her and everything and made it into a song and everything. And, you know, Riley, she seemed like she was kind of nervous. You know, she just kind of like, yeah, you know, like, whatever, I guess. You know, just kind of nonchalant or whatever. I don't know if it's because the cameras were around or whatever. I don't know. But Anyway, she was recording the song or whatever, this, that, and the third, and you know, like I said, she just seemed kind of nonchalant and everything, and you know, as she was doing the song or whatever, and you know, Candy tells her, I need you to give me some attitude and some personality. So they started again, whatever. But yeah, y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. If y'all heard a little bit of the song, or based off what you heard in the studio, how do you feel about, you know, Riley, you know, singing and everything, and the song itself? But anyways, moving on from that, we get Portia and Phaedra. You know, Phaedra comes to Portia's new house. You know, she finally is at her mom's house and everything. Phaedra gives, you know, Portia a bottle of Hennessy or whatever, and she gives Phaedra a tour of the house or whatever, you know, and she talking about she got a room set up for, you know, her twins or whatever, you know, whoever decides to give her some twins and all this other stuff. I'm just like... So, you know, they talk about Phaedra's divorce being finalized and how she has mixed emotions and everything. Oh, excuse me, I feel like I'm stopped up or whatever. But anyways, you know, Phaedra had mixed emotions about it or whatever. And Phaedra, she told Apollo and how it didn't really go too good when she told him. And Phaedra is like, you know, Apollo has a girlfriend and everything, which we all know at this point or whatever. And, you know, like how he's moved on. So, like, what's the big fucking deal? And I'm like, I'm kind of with Phaedra. Like, yeah, you got a new girlfriend. I mean, like what you mad for? You know what I'm saying? But... anyways, moving on from that, we get Cynthia. You know, she talks about having a fashion launch for, I guess, her clothing line or whatever, and she wants Noel and Sheree's son to be a part of it, and she's talking to her partner that is, I guess, I don't know if he is involved in the clothing line with her or her, you know, eyewear. He's her partner, bottom line, in something, you know, dealing with business. So she's talking to him or whatever, and tells him that Sheree has high expectations or whatever, and that she doesn't want to get Sheree's hopes up. So Sheree, she comes in or whatever, and she tells her about, you know, the fashion show or whatever, and you know, how she wants Cairo to be a part of it. And Sheree is like, well, is money gonna be involved? And you know, Cynthia's like, no, or whatever, is no money gonna be involved, but we'll make sure we'll give him a backpack and all this other stuff. And Sheree is like, just one backpack and everything. And you know, Cynthia's like, yeah, Sheree, this is, you know, a small company and everything, this, that, and third. And Sheree, she talking about something, she'll prefer it to be on the weekend because, you know, Cairo still has school, and, you know, school is still a priority. And Cynthia's like, well, I don't know if I could do that and everything, this, that, and the third. And she's like, you know, when I was, you know, modeling and stuff, I couldn't call up Calvin Klein and Ralph Lauren or whatever and tell them, oh, no, this is not a good weekend for me or whatever, this, that, and the third. She was like, that's not how it works and everything, this, that, and the third. So Sheree gonna have to get with it or, you know, get lost. You know what I'm saying? So moving on from that, Portia, she meets up with her Todd and everything, and she's, you know, unsure about him at this point or whatever, because she feels like that he's, you know, playing around. So he comes up or whatever, they meet up at some restaurant and everything. He gets her a gift, and it's a necklace or whatever. And you know, Portia is like, he's gonna have to do more than get her a necklace to get him out the doghouse. So she's like, you know, she didn't even want to be in a relationship at first, you know, but he sold her pretty much a dream and everything. And, you know, so she was like, you know, okay, you know, she made plans and everything, and she had her own her own vision. So, you know, she was like that, you know, I was present in the relationship, and I was asking questions or whatever because I wanted to know, like, you know, what are your plans and everything, you know, with your job, and, you know, blase, you know, what are we going to do, and, you know, whatever. And he like, you know, why can't I take a break and all this other stuff in regards to his job? And she was like, ain't no breaks, bitch. She was like, I barely motherfucking sleep, so what is you talking about a break or whatever? And I felt Portia, you know, felt where she was coming from on this and everything. It's not like, you know, Todd is in his 20s. Like, he pushing, like she said, he's pushing 40 fucking years old, and he talking about some breaks and all this other bullshit. Like, come on, you know what I'm saying? She's like, you know, you got fired from your job or whatever, so that doesn't mean take a break. That means get your ass up and find another one. You know what I'm saying? And she told him, like, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'll be done with you so motherfucking quick or whatever if you don't get it together. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Todd, you really can't be taking no break when, like I said, you pushing 40 and you have kids. But like I think I told y'all earlier this season, I read somewhere where his kids hasn't even had contact with him in the last couple of years while he's sitting up here fronting. So moving on from that, we get the scene with Kandi and Porsha. They meet up and everything. It's awkward, you know. Porsha like, you know, I've been trying to call you and all this other stuff. Kandi is like, yeah, I know, you know, I was just thrown off by the whole situation that happened at the dinner and everything. And, you know, Kandi is like that Porsha was going so hard with the rest of them to find out who it was that said it. And Porsha is like, you know, I didn't know at first and everything, or this, that, and third. Like, you know, I couldn't remember at first. And she was like, you know, I didn't know that one statement would carry so much weight or whatever. And that, you know, she didn't care how Kandi would feel at the time, this, that, and the third. And, you know, Kandi was saying something to Porsha or whatever. And Porsha is like, you know, well, you was talking about me to, Sheree or whatever in regards to blocking everything. Kandi once again lets Porsha know that, you know, she never told Sheree that they had sex. And, you know, Kandi feels like that Porsha was coming at her crazy that day that, you know, Porsha and Sheree had that sit down or whatever, this, that, and third. Porsha was like, I wasn't coming at you crazy and everything. And Kandi is like, you know, Kandi is like, you know, whatever. The bottom line is, you told me that y'all had sex from what type of sex positions and everything. So, like, you know, cut the shit. So, you know, Kandi is like, you know, if you would just own up to your shit, it wouldn't be a problem and everything. And Porsha like, what haven't I owned up to and all this other stuff? And, you know, Kandi is like that. Porsha tells a whole bunch of lies to cover up another lie, to cover up another lie, you know, so people don't know certain shit. And, you know, Kandi is like, it's never been a secret that I've had hooked up with women and everything. She's like, the problem is you live your life in secrecy and everything. And she's like, you know, and Porsha like, you know, what you mean and all this other stuff. And she's like, you know, Porsha, you've been with chicks before and everything, this, that, and the third. And Porsha is like, you know, I'm not going around telling your business and all this other stuff. And she's like, you know, I'm single and all this other stuff, so if I was to have a female in my bedroom, it'll be one thing. But you're married and all this other stuff, bringing chicks into your bedroom or whatever, that's a whole totally different situation. I mean, if Kandi and Todd is okay with that, I mean, that's them. I mean, personally, me, it's not something that I would do. You know what I'm saying? But if they cool with having a threesome or whatever, it's not really different, you know what I'm saying? So I just felt like Porsha was just blowing a whole bunch of hot air with that bullshit. So anyways, Kandi is like, you know, me and Todd have only had one experience in regards to a threesome and everything. Porsha like, oh girl, please, you really gonna sit up here and tell that lie? She was like, y'all have a sex dungeon and all this other shit. I'm like, and, you know, Kandi is like, are you fucking serious right now? She was like, if I had one, I would say it because I think, you know, something like that would be cool. And I believe Kandi, you know, like, if she had a sex dungeon, as much as she talks about sex, she has her own sex toy line. Why would she not own up to that? You know what I'm saying? Kandi brings up, you know, Porsha wanting to eat her puss and everything, and Porsha sitting up here saying that Kandi lying and all this other stuff. But I'm gonna tell you something. I watched Watch What Happens live last night, and Kandi was up there, and she said that, I guess in next week's episode, it's going to show that Kandi, that she showed everybody at the table her phone or whatever of Porsha, you know, wanting to do some things with her and everything. See, this is why I say, like, Porsha be saying stuff, like, be denying stuff or whatever, and then she get caught out there. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so, you know, Porsha like Kandi lying and all this other stuff, and Porsha talking about some Kandi had a relationship with the woman for 7 years and all this other stuff, and Kandi like, what? And I'm just kind of like, yeah, I feel like, yeah, that is kind of like far-fetched or whatever. I'm not really believing Porsha and the shit that she's saying. I'm definitely believing Kandi more, you know what I'm saying? Candy might still have some stuff to hide, but at this point right about now, I believe Candy more than I do Portia, because I feel like Portia just blowing out a whole bunch of hot air or whatever. So anyways, you know, she's like, you know, I'll give you the girl number or whatever, you need to call her and everything, because she's like, you know, she's saying that you ended the relationship so abruptly or whatever when people start finding out or whatever. And you know, Portia is like that. It's not a secret that you slept with all these R&B groups and all this other stuff back in the day. I was like, oh well, I mean, as I got older, I was reading stuff about Candy, you know, being like that in the industry. So Candy is like that. Portia is a freak hoe and all this other stuff, because she was messing around with one of Block's friends and everything, and then she started messing around with Block or whatever. They calling each other hoes and everything, and you know, Portia is like, you know, why don't you talk about how did you know that Todd, you know, tells females that his name is Marvin or whatever when he goes up to New York so he could cheat? Serious right now. So anyways, you know, Candy, she brings up the whole Portia wanting to eat her pussy again and everything, and Portia is like, nobody want to eat your rotten pussy and all this other stuff. And Candy was like, hold up, this shit tastes like sugar and all this other stuff. And Portia is like, I'm not into teacups, short and stout, bitch. And if I did like a female or whatever, or if I was into females, you wouldn't be my type and all this other stuff. And Portia like, I'm gonna give you the girl number and everything and this, that, and the third. And then Candy, you know, she leaves or whatever. She was like, next time come with some facts and everything. Here's my thing with Portia. Like, you guys remember when Portia was saying for like a couple of seasons that she knew that you know, what's his name, Peter was cheating on Cynthia and all this other stuff, but she would never, I mean, even though we felt like, you know, Peter, you know, cheated on Cynthia too, but she never presented us any facts. She never gave us any names. She never, you know, showed us any text messages or DMs or whatever of her being in contact with these women, or, you know, showing us, you know, these women sending her text messages that Peter then had with them back and forth and all this other stuff. Like, she never presents facts. She never, like, you know what I'm saying? She never throws out any names, or she never puts any facts out there. So that's why I got to a point with Portia where I felt like Portia be full of shit and everything. So why should I believe that, you know, Todd be going by some, you know, Marvin or whatever to cheat on Candy and all this other stuff, or anything else that she be saying, or the fact that Candy so-called had a 7-year relationship with a woman, when Portia don't ever put shit out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I said, I believe Candy more, you know, in this situation. I feel like Portia just blowing a whole bunch of hot air, you know what I'm saying, to save her own ass and everything, but she ends up looking stupid, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, let me know how y'all feel about it. Do you believe Candy, or do you believe Portia, or you in the middle with it? Like I said, I'm not saying that Candy probably still ain't got some shit, you know, under wraps or whatever, but right about now, I'm believing Candy more than I'm believing Portia. But anyways, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys come back. Make sure you guys hit that bell next to the subscription button so you guys can get notified about all my new videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.